It's been a green day in the crypto market. And as we move about the $2 trillion market cap, people definitely have to understand. Don't put just a small value in the market cap and say we are not going above that. We are definitely moving above that. We have different charts set here to show you that what's happening with XRP in different time frames, which gives you idea about the micro scenario, medium scenario, and the macro scenario. Moving on to the Bitcoin market cap, showing you what it's really doing. Now, what does that mean? Is when the market cap is exploding, you're going to see a lot of money coming in different altcoins. Precisely, look at the change in volume for Cardano. Look at the volume change in for XRP. We went to 12, then we came back to 4. Now we are back close to 6. We are moving up. That's great. Now, on the fundamental side of this, when people say, nah, we won't go above $5 trillion market cap, 8 trillion, or when they put a small number to that, they really don't look at stuff like this. Global debt climbed to an all-time high of $281 trillion. That's not a small stuff. Now, this is not stopping. You can see central banks are eager to add more money and more money by printing it again and again, right? We have seen this in a lot of different times, but the scale at which it's happening right now, you won't understand this because the common man is confused right now with the CPI and the inflation rate which the government is spitting in front of them, because they don't really understand what's happening. What they really need to look at is the asset price inflation. So when you see the asset price inflation, you also have to take in account of these stuff. These are literally happening. This just happened last year, 15 trillion and counting. So the global stimulus is increasing, and you just printed like $25 trillion in a year and a half due to the health crisis, and it's continuing. Now, on the other side of this, when we look at stuff, we kind of see like majority of the financial executives are saying blockchain is going mainstream. Now, blockchain, don't get confused, it's not only crypto. You have value transfer, which is one layer. You have information transfer, that's another one. So data and value, both are different. And these are going into financial services industries, which gives you the highlight that yes, crypto assets or digital assets are becoming important. Now look at this one. This is a little bit old, showing you 2017, March 30, 2017. Now, when you look at this, you do have to understand it takes time in finance industry, because in financial industry, what happens is people who work in finance are really slow because the regulations are a ton. They have to step through this. They have to take it step by step through that. And it's really hard to teach the regulators what's happening at that moment. So when you see these stuff, it's really interesting to look at what it looks like when they change it into a distributed validation system where they're connecting, IntelliJ protocol to do their transfers and all. Now, this is an expected scenario where all of this are going to turn out green, right? So when you see massive adoption in the financial services industry, and when you see like the positive stuff evolving, say SEC officials under investigations for conflict of interest in Ripple lawsuit. Now, all of this, along with what you see here, shows you that when we are going to go through massive market cap, say 10 trillion, 20, 50, you put a number to that and you won't believe it now, but at that time, you will understand what we are talking right now. Because you're going to see massive inflation. Even if we are reaching $100 trillion market cap, it won't be as of today. Because, say you buy a milk for $1 now, in a year or two, you're going to buy that for $3, $4. Who knows? That's the rate of inflation at which things are happening. Why is that happening? We just saw that the world is moving into this massive debt and governments are printing this. Look at this. This is $25 trillion. It's kind of the size of US economy, and US became US taking a long time, but governments just did this in 2 years in the name of health crisis. So what you're going to see here is price of other assets are going to increase. Here, this is a story for gold investors, but do understand the youngsters are moving in to crypto, and that's why you see a $2 trillion market cap even now, just after the wave 1. entering into wave 2, which is the biggest wave. Understand, you started from 200 billion, you are now at 2 trillion. When we were at 200 billion, there were people who were saying we are going to zero, there were people who were saying we are not going above 500, and right now we are 2 trillion. So that's 10 times what it was previously. Great. Now what is interesting is, in wave 1 if you did 10x, in wave 2 you can do 20 to 30x. Put that into perspective, you're like 40 trillion dollars, right? That's not a small deal. You're like 40 to 60 trillion dollar, which is huge market cap. Now where will all of these go? Will it only be in Bitcoin? Will it only be in Ether? Now you are seeing this in Bitcoin dominance, we are dropping. Now we'll have to go through the charts and explain the details so you know where you stand with your portfolio. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. In one of our previous posts, we have actually shown you that this is really going to happen. And look at this. We just created a fake out where we went and touched 1.3. Then we immediately came back in to the current trading pattern. Now look at the RSI. We're near the resistance zone. We haven't actually rejected from that level going towards downside. We're still maintaining at the top, where it's really interesting to see that as we are staying above the moving average, we're going to see price fluctuation to the upside. Now let's go into a micro scenario, taking a daily chart. Say we are not looking at the entire trend here, we are kind of just looking at the bottom here and then the change from this. So that's a micro Elliott wave pattern. So in that micro Elliott wave pattern, what we are eyeing is, say this is the breakout of that accumulation in that micro scenario, and then the wave 1. Now we are looking for the wave 2. So the wave 2 can be 2 to 3 times. We are only plotting 2 times here. If you are plotting 3 times, you're going to go above the all-time highs. But right now in this scenario, you're going to go towards $3 with next impulse in a micro scenario where your RSI is supporting that, saying we are going to bounce because we are being at the support range. We're retesting that, but we are at the support. As we bounce, we're going to eye that mark where it would be $3. Now right now we are $1.2, and $3 you are going to make profits, right? 150% of profit from here, but that's not a big deal. If you've been in the market and you're looking for the macro scenario, you're looking something like this on a 3-day chart in the medium term. So this shows you that we have already bounced. Those who are listening to us at least a month before knew what we were talking when we were here. When we created this double bottom, we gave you the idea that we are going to continue higher. We were at $0.5 back then. Those who are listening to us from all this time when we are following this trend line know that trend line analysis is valid. Trend analysis, pattern analysis, time series, we have done all of those, and we are posting regular charts in the Patreon so that you now know which asset you have and what is that asset doing, what you can anticipate, where you are reaching your target, where you're going to take profit. You get all those updates. But now I'll say, even though we are in a bull market and we are having a lot of opportunities, it's now getting the end of this month. So it would be better to join the Patreon if you want to join next month, say 1st or 2nd in your calendar month, in your time zone. That would be better. Otherwise, Patreon is going to charge you twice. I'll have to refund you. It's time is money, so you understand that. But if you have a ton of assets in your portfolio, like 50-60 assets in your portfolio, and you don't know which one to hold, what to look at for all these assets, when to take profits for them, yeah, I agree, you definitely need support. And in that case, you can definitely look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. So now as we continue, you seem to like this, right? Because when we are going towards $6, $7, $8, that's going to be great in profits for those who held on, right? From 0.2, from 0.3, you gonna have 20x, you gonna have 30x, depending upon your average. Great. Now, as you step out, say this is a weekly chart showing you we have a trend line support that's moving higher. That's all great. We've been following this. Now, you had a previous resistance range which turned into support here. Even back then, we were saying the same. We were getting bounced from that level. Even though the price went to 0.5, we were sure that the resistance and support range is like 0.6, 0.62. We've been highlighting that. Then, next one here is this one, which we broke through with a bullish shaped candle which shows that breakout is valid with an increase in volume. That's a sudden increase in volume which validates that breakout. Now we are making that as a support right now. So as you bounce, the next level which you are eyeing as a resistance is 1.6, 1.7 towards $2, which is the previous high which we put in recently, like March, April. So in this one, as you near that, if you haven't taken any of your profits and you are trading from the bottom point 1.15.2, now you are like 10x and you can literally take some profit, not 50-60%, a little bit. So keep as dry powder in case there is another opportunity popping up in another asset, or in case there is a retest of the previous support zone. So if you are going down in the meantime, you can get that. But if you're a macro guy looking at this monthly chart where the RSI is showing we are just rounding off the bottom, you're coming, hitting that support, slowly turning, and then now bouncing. That bounce can end up towards the top of $18 to $20 as the top of wave 2. But in between, you're going to get first wave, second wave, third wave within that major wave 2. So that shows what's the trajectory of XRP. Now, when this is going to happen, we don't know. But looking at the altcoin market cap in general gives us an idea. Say this one shows you precisely that we are getting closer to a breakout. We are looking for volume to come in, RSI to break. MACD has already crossed in the positive zone to the upside and it's just crossed. And right now, looking at the price action, you can see that okay, we are trending higher. What we are going to do is something similar to what we have done previously many times. People forget history and that's why we miss opportunities. Look here clearly. If you are looking here, I'll zoom you in and take you in so that you are not missing this one. Say here, when you had a bullish shaved candle, say a couple of them, and then you slowed down but you were still trending to the upside, you literally had 3 candles like that where you were trending to the upside with a open and close, meaning green candles. You're closing upside, meaning there is a rush in between the buyers and sellers, but at the end of the day, buyers wins. And then what happens? Another 3 continuous candles popping through the roof. Boom, boom, boom. So that's what we are eyeing here. We just had 3 candles to the upside in that manner of increasing volume, then one reduced. Hopefully a couple of them would be like this, same scenario, and then bounce. So that bounce can create definite opportunities in the market. Now remember, these are like weekly candles. There's a weekly chart. So you are looking for 2 or 3 weeks where you're going to get bounce in majority of the coins. And what did we just say? Macro scenario, great. Monthly we are bouncing, we are going up. But on a weekly we have resistance here. So with that bounce, if we are able to cross above this $2 mark, that's when XRP is getting the momentum. When we cross above that, we are going to continue higher. See this range, we've been resisted for that area some time, and the traders are like, okay, we are not going above that. And as soon as you broke above, a lot of money came in, people rushed in, we went high, right? So that started, remember, that started from 0.7 and ended at $2. So that's literally like 200% in profit from there. 300% total fluctuation, right? If you have 0.7, then 0.7, 1.4 to 0.1, it's somewhere close to that. So 200% in profit. Now take that into perspective. You're going to go towards $6. Right now, that's $2. You're going to go to $2, then $4, $6, 2 to 3 times, $4 to $6, what you are looking for that impulse. Different scenarios shows you different targets, and different time frame gives you that. Say on 3-day chart, if you are eyeing for $6 to $7, on a short term, you are eyeing for $3. So if you're a short term guy, you're looking at this. If you're a long term guy, you're literally looking at this. And you definitely understand what you want from this market, because when Bitcoin dominance is dropping, the support levels for the dominance is 38 and 74. Next one. After that, 35.89, then 32.44. So these are critical points which you're eyeing as support for Bitcoin dominance. But one thing is for sure, as the moving average is trending down and the price is below that, you are moving to that positive range where Bitcoin dominance is going to show you, okay, we are moving down, that's all great. So as you go down here in the altcoin market, you're going to see a rush of volume as we discussed, and that would generate a ton of opportunities here in the list of coins, because as you look at this, you have a ton of them which are undervalued right now, right? It's not just one coin, but we are high on XRP because of its fundamentals, because of the macro scenario what we just saw. If central banks have this issue and the world is under this level of debt and central banks are working with Ripple, now that's the source of liquidity which they can push in. I'm not saying we are going to $280 trillion just in XRP. I'm saying $50 trillion in crypto won't be a big stuff. With the inflation which you're seeing around the globe, that's going to be nothing. But yes, if you preserve your purchasing power, you will be some among those lucky guys who do that, but not the majority. Being financially educated, knowing what is happening right now in the market cycle and where you stand in the market cycle is really important. Because when you look at this and understand that we are turning to the upside, we have done all this crazy stuff, we are now pumping, you now know that the aggressive time is over. Now it's defensively aggressive area where you now know where you need to take profits. You're looking for those targets to take your profits out to prepare for the final blow off the top, which is wave 3, right? So if you are able to get the majority of profits in wave 2, now we are just compounding that a couple of times in wave 3 and exiting the market. Be cautious and learn your way up. I've given a lot of books for you guys, and most of them who are going through that book find that helpful while being an investor. So guys, if you received value for your time, you please do hit that like and subscribe button, because that helps the channel a lot. And if you want these kind of updates for a lot of different assets which you have in your portfolio, to look at whether that's wave 2, whether that's wave 3, which you should take your profits and all, you can definitely look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. So guys, I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.